Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are going to take a look at a Grail game. This is Mechs vs Minions. It is no longer in print. It was a limited print run to begin with, and for those that were able to get their hands on it, everybody else was super jealous. I have finally obtained a copy. A gentleman in my area was selling it for a very reasonable price, so I scooped it up. We're here to take a look at it today. Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at Mechs vs Minions. This is not a new game. This is not a game in print. This is not even a new copy. This is a used copy, but that's pretty much the only way you're going to find a copy of Mechs vs Minions. If you happen to find one in shrink still, I don't even want to know what it was worth. But anyways, this is the board game based on the League of Legends video game, which is a MOBA, inspired video game, which is incredibly popular. Something like 8 million people play this game every day. They've got money coming out their ears, so they decided one day, I want to make a board game. And so they got some people like Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower to consult on this game, and they just dumped resources in it like nobody's business. They sold the game at a loss. It was a limited print run, and after that they decided, we're going to stick with video gaming. That was fun, but we're moving on to something else. So, everything you see in this box is the only way the game came. We're talking pre-painted, pre-washed miniatures, amazing art on the cards, custom inserts, everything. So if you happen to find a copy of Mechs vs Minions, this is how you're going to find it, assuming that the person took a good care of their copy like this gentleman did. But I don't think that just the average Joe Schmo was going around buying up this game. The MSRP for this game was $73, and when I open up this and you can see how big this box is, you're going to think, good lord, that would run for $200 now based on current Kickstarters. And everything in here feels like super upgraded Kickstarter stuff. But they were just selling them, pre-ordering them, $73 plus shipping, boom. Again, this is no longer in print, but there are copies floating around. It had a campaign element to it, so I feel like some people, after you've played through the campaign, maybe you feel like you're done. It's not a legacy game. There are some elements to the game where you're going to be opening up new things. I'm going to show you where, like my copy in particular, is missing a few things, but nothing that is going to hurt my experience in the game. So I'm going to stop beating around the bush here, and we are just going to take the lid off. So right off the bat, custom trays, and this is well before all the current Kickstarters where everything was a custom tray. And I actually think I stacked these in here wrong when I put them back in, but I wanted to check and make sure there wasn't anything spoilerish that I was going to ruin for you guys. So fancy little custom box with a little surprise poking out. Well, we won't open that up until I give you fair warning. Here are the custom painted miniatures. I'm just going to set this one off to the side. You can see here that everything in here is just a minion. And this game in particular, you're going to be crushing through some minions. There's going to be waves and waves of them. So I don't think there's any difference between these, but there are different sculpts. But what's really nice about these trays, I guess we're going to go ahead and pop this off just because... is that these will hold any type of minion. They design them so you don't have to remember, oh, this style goes right here. I could take this guy here, and let me see, here's this guy with a shield. He will fit into there, and he will fit into there. So cleaning up and all that jazz is far easier, but still with the ability to have some differentiated minion sculpts. All right, this is the one that was supposed to be on top. So let's just pop this one off. I'm going to get to the goodies in just a second. But just to show off some of this stuff here. This game is just ridiculous. So here's the minions. You can see they are pre-washed. This is, you know, early washing at the time. You know, very few games were getting a wash on them. I remember when Aftermath came out by Plaid Hat Games, it was like, wow, those look super nice. And now it feels like everything kind of has the option to get a wash on it. But we're talking some metal coins here. I mean, there's no currency in the game, but these are real metal. These metal gear tokens, which will show you what they track here in a second. Custom D12 dice, which are really well put in there. Anyways, there you can see them. Some regular D6s over here. And then we have these, which are used for various things in the scenarios, but you can see a minion will fit in there if it wants to, or it can flip over, all that jazz. I haven't quite figured out whether they're supposed to go in upside down or not, but you know, all the trays are built so that when you push on them, things pop up. Just amazing. This is what blows me away, though. You don't see this anymore without paying a premium for it, but this game, just out of the box, came with professionally painted miniatures. So these are your 4 heroes. This game can play up to 4 players, and I mean, just that's amazing. I mean, based on like today's standards, you could probably find some fault with it, but at the time, I mean, these were just incredible. And they still are really good. I mean, the fact that I don't have to paint these and they just look like this right off the bat is amazing. And the last one here. So those are your hero miniatures. I'll set those off to the side. Let's put the lid back on here. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Set that off to the side. All right. So you've got even more miniatures here, and then you have all of the rule books and stuff. I guess we can spin this around like that, so everything's right side up. Now, normally the game would have come with a whole bunch of envelopes, and inside that envelope would have been your mission guide along with some cards. All of that stuff is out. The only thing the previous owner of this game did not save were the envelopes, which, I mean, I get it. There's one here he did save, so you can see they're paperish, and you know, you just kind of popped them off. So he saved this one. I haven't even looked in there, top secret, but the rest of them would have just you know, looked like that, but had, you know, mission 7 on it. So each of the missions is here. I could peek, but I'm not going to. I'm probably going to play them as is. But that's it. I mean, I'm not missing anything by having these in a paper envelope. So what have we got here? We have essentially a player aid here that shows you the various basic cards here. These are what you're going to be adding to your command line. Essentially, this is a programming game. So you are going to be very quickly having to choose which one of these cards you're going to snag from a draft style, and then you're going to lay it down, and then you're going to execute, and your little mech has to go through its full command line. And then here we have just player phase, minion phase, danger phase, blah, blah, blah. Then we have a field guide and textbook. This is essentially a rules reference sheet. So it is alphabeticalized and basically goes into just more detail than you might need on most things, but is a really great reference for if you have a question. And then you have your tutorial. So this is definitely meant to be kind of a learn as you go type of game. It gives you all the steps here. The first one, you don't even have minions on the board, and you just play, and that's it. You know, there's not this heavily extensive rule book or anything like that. So let me move this tray out of the way, and then we'll take a look at what else we got in the box here. So, and I'm not sure whether that one was supposed to have a cover or not, but I don't feel like I missed one. So, all right, each person has their own unique command board here. Super thick cardboard, by the way. Look at how thick that cardboard is. I mean, you just don't see that. Again, everything about this game was overproduced for its price point. But you can see this is Hammerdinger there, and this is, he's got 6 slots that he can fill up for his command line, and each slot can hold up to 3 cards. The more cards you have stacked of light symbols, the more powerful that command is going to be. And then he has an overdrive ability. We'll talk about that here in a second. So each character has their own unique board with their own unique overdrive ability. I mean, honestly, the only thing that could make this have been even more amazing is if these have been like dual layered with as thick as they are, so that the cards kind of nested in there. This is a boss board for a boss battler. So they have their own command line. And then you have this board here. So this is going to track a lot of things for you. It's going to track like a countdown in certain scenarios. Certain runes might lead to certain things, but this is the main one here, is your gear board, or your gear section. So every time you kill a minion, you're going to stack them up here, and once you get to 5, you're going to clear them off. So this is very similar to what game was I playing recently that had this same, the Power Rangers Shattered Grid, not Shattered Grid, but the Power Rangers game by Renegade Games, and now G.I. Joe Mission Critical all uses that, where you stack up the minions, and once you hit 5, you would get one of the vehicles or whatever. So here, once you hit 5, you get to keep advancing your gear along the track. So you can see that once you get up to 15, everybody is in overdrive, and everybody gets to utilize their overdrive action. But where the gear sits on here is important for other things that we'll see here in just a minute. And then we've got some super nice terrain boards. So each scenario is going to be made up of 3 or 4 of these laid out. But you can see there's like spot UV on the oil slicks. Again, super thick cardboard. This game is 5 years or so old, and there doesn't appear to be any warping. As far as I know, this game has lived here in North Carolina, where I am, and has been, which is incredibly humid climate, and everything's still good. So this is a compass, which essentially you just set it down on the board, and if you have to turn your mech in a random direction, you're going to roll one of those D12s with the colors, and this will tell you whether you turn right, left, blue or red. This is normally where everybody starts. This is kind of your home base, and you go out into there. Has very much Project Elite feels to it. And then there's this lava board, which I'm assuming is used in one of the scenarios. But again, everything, look, it has its own little spot down here. Everything has a place. You have this little washed bomb miniature, which you're going to use in various scenarios, either pushing it or tugging it back to base to fix it, or pushing it out to the minions. You have a timer, which I believe this is just a minute timer. But look at this. I mean, this signifies this is the first player token, but it's also a functional 1-minute timer. But this is insane. You could have easily just put in one of those plastic timers that you see in like Taboo, and it still would have functioned, but this is your timer. We have 3 more minions, as if we didn't have enough. We have these cards here. Don't worry, no spoilers. These cards are going to be your command cards. So these are going to be shuffled up, and you're going to be drawing from these a stack, and everybody's going to be drawing from them in that minute. The first player is going to draw one. They're going to be kind of laid out, and you might, if you're like the last to pick, you might have to be frantically deciding which one you're going to select. But you can see here, just for example, let's look at some of the green ones here. Those are all the same, but here's some right there. So say you've got this green card here in your lineup. So whenever you get to that point in your command board, it's going to say during the draft, if you're the first player, deal +1 cards. But then when you get here, you must turn 90 degrees. Turn 90 degrees or 180 degrees and deal +2 cards. So you can see this symbol here, this is a turn one. Well, these other cards are not all turn ones. This is an attack one, and this is a multiple movement one. But if you happen to take this card and then stack it on top of another card, well, boom, now you get to do this middle one here where you see the two green symbols, because we got 2 green symbols. So when this action comes up in my command board, now I get to do either a 90-degree turn or a 180-degree turn. I can't go straight, I have to turn, but my choices become a lot better. But say I then get this one and I pop that one down there. Well, I no longer have a turn card in my command, and I have to always place this on top. I no longer have a turn, but I have an attack, and when this gets to it, I'm going to hit for one target within 3, and you can see it even gives you a little graph of what 3 range would be. It's shooting in any direction. If, however, if you've stacked up 3 and you use the best one here, you have to take out the bottom one. Now it's just the bottom one, so you still get your shot, but now it's just the 2-for-1. At any point in time, though, you can also scrap these cards. Way here at the bottom, it says swap 2 undamaged slots. So if you really wanted your attack to be at the end, and right now it's at the beginning, if you pulled up another green card and just scrapped it, you could move 2 of your slots. And here are the blue ones and the red ones can be scrapped to repair 1 damage. Well, how do you receive damage, and what does it do, you might ask? Because there are minions in the game who are trying to do you harm, and there is a boss. Well, here you have your damage deck. Now, some of these cards that I'm just going to go ahead and take away so you can't see them. I put them down. Some of these cards are what would be in an envelope. And it's very obvious. There's a little symbol right about here that has a lock on it and the number scenario that would unlock it. So if it was a lock with a 1, you would get that right off the bat. In your first mission, basically after you played the tutorial, you would unlock that. So these are damage cards. These are going to be randomly shuffled up, and anytime you would take damage, you would take 1. And here, this one would be just one-time use. You're swapping cards in your command line, so you're having a reorder, major glitch, and then you discard it. But there are going to be other ones here where you have to slot the card. So you would have to slot this into one of your slots, killing off everything underneath, and then have to deal with this haywire rotator every time you ran through your command line until you have healed this one. So I think those might be the only 2 symbols. Yes. Yeah. All right. So it's basically a one-time use thing, or sticks on your board and messes up your board. The last 2 things I'm going to show you could be considered spoilers. So I'm going to say my goodbyes now for anybody that wants to duck out and not have any type of campaign elements spoiled for them. But these cards that you can see right here, which are unique to your character, you're going to basically get 1 every mission. And then our boss miniature here, who is just too badass not to show off. It doesn't spoil anything, just whether or not you don't want to see him in all his glory until you finally have to defeat him. But anyways, I am going to be testing through this game, figuring out how best, if able, to play it solo. It is a cooperative game, but I think you need to play with at least 2 players. I'll have to double check that. And it could be tough, you know, trying to manage 2-handed. So we'll see. But anyways, from this point on, the rest of this content could be considered spoilerish. Viewers beware. Let's go. All right, so you have your cards here, and I'm just going to show you, you know, like 1 here on the front. So here you can see, here's the tiny little one with the unlock. So you would get this card the very first mission. So not super spoilery. It's a one-time use card. Once you've used it, you'll spend it. I'm pretty sure you're going to get it back, but I haven't read through the Mission 1 guide, so I haven't earned instructions on this. But here you can say, play when you would take damage, take no damage, move to an adjacent space, and turn to face any direction. So it's a barrel roll. The trick is that you can't use this until you are at gear 2 or better. As you'll notice on the backs of some of his other cards, to activate, he has to get up to certain gears. And, you know, so you can't just play these whenever. But these are all for this one character. Then she has her own deck. He has his own deck. And he has his own deck. So, yes, everybody is kind of using the same command cards. But your special abilities that you're going to be able to trigger throughout the game are going to be unique to you, which I think is really cool. So I'm just going to set this right back in there. I think this one, yeah, there we go. Boop, that one goes in first. Like I said, everything has its place in this game. All right, this is easily the coolest miniature in the game. This is the boss. If you don't want to see it, turn off the video now. My feelings won't be hurt, but anyways, let's take a look at this guy. Magnetic lid. Oh, it's on this side. Do not open. So it was taped shut originally. You could always be able to peek inside. But I mean, seriously, look at this dude. He's like in a throne. He's got a giant axe. I mean, this thing unpainted, like a Warhammer 40k miniature this side, is going to run you $60. Something like that. And it's not going to come painted like this. So he's got his own special deck of cards here, which I'm not going to get into those because I don't want to quite know what he does. But anyways, I mean, it's just the little window. This box in general is just so cool. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A blast from the past. I wanted to show this one off because I have seen this game for sale used, but it is a big box. It's a heavy box. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not sure whether or not I would want to pay for shipping or worry about it being shipped across the country. Finally found one local, and I jumped on the chance. Oops, I haven't put my other things in. So that's kind of what I am advising you to do. If you're seeing something that you like, look around, ask around. There might be some people who have played through the entire campaign and are like, yeah, I'm probably never going to get this out again. Yes, I will be happy to sell it for you. I am a fellow board gamer. I took care of my games. It's still in great condition, and everything can be reset. If somebody were to have saved you the envelopes, you can easily reset everything and stick them all back in the envelopes. You can even hire somebody to stick them back in there so you didn't have to peek at anything. So again, campaign style, but it doesn't it's not a legacy game. Nothing's been ripped up, nothing's been broken. Anyways, I am going to stop packing up here and just finish off the video. If you would like to see more content of Mechs and Minions, again, this is an older game. This is nothing new, and it's not even in print. So, but if you're interested in seeing more from this game, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be happy to produce some more content. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you would like to be notified when more videos hit the channel, please hit that bell icon. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.